everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's the title all about? The title, let me turn this heater off in the background. The title is, have you seen the uptick in videos lately that have been going on over in Palestine? Palestine, if there's a such thing as Palestine. I know that sounds weird, right? But if you watch the history videos on the history of the Middle East and Palestine in general, every one of the historians will pretty much tell you that there's no such thing as Palestine. Let me see if I can clear up this video. It's probably choppy, right? Because I turned the Wi-Fi off by accident. Anyhow, most historians will tell you that there's no such thing as Palestine. Like, you look at the history of the map all the way back to when it was like the Kingdom of Israel, back in the original years and years and years and years and years ago, before emperors and kings and everybody else owned it. It was like, I think it was called the Kingdom of Israel. And that's how far back most people track it. It was never called Palestine. Palestinians never owned it like they claim, but it has been passed off from hand to hand to hand when it comes to emperors and rulers and kings and all this other stuff. And the land over there has changed over and over and over again. Now, recently, you would find that Donald Trump has got involved in the Middle East conflict over there, where it's Israel and Palestine were killing each other. And in a nutshell, what ended up happening is there was peace for a while. Even though they hated each other, and maybe not hated each other, but disagreed with each other and how they lived, there was nothing going on. They weren't killing each other in mass quantity and stuff like that. There may be some little riff here and there. But on October 7th, Hamas, a terrorist organization that supported Palestine, that are Palestinians, decided to drop in. They said fly in, sneak in, everything. Attack people. There was like a concert or something going on, or some type of venue, and they just started killing people, which kicked off this 2-year war of Palestinians versus Israelis. And Hamas was their defending soldier group, their anchor. What ended up happening is they killed a lot of people, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, now Trump gets involved. He's been involved, but he gets involved and says, enough of this shit. You guys got to come up with some kind of resolution. They stop killing each other. And as Hamas is retreating Palestine, they're killing their own people. They're executing their own people in the streets. While Gazans are returning to their homes, Israelis and Palestinians, in relief that there's no fighting going on, they are executing people in the streets as they're exfilling. Now tell me how you think that is a group of people that you would like to say you support, that you want defending your country. Isn't it ironic that for 2 years Hamas, Palestinians have been fighting against Israelis, killing each other back and forth. But when the war is over, the very group that was defending you continues to kill your own people in their streets? Yeah. That's somebody I want defending me. That's somebody I want to go down in history saying that I supported for 2 years, and then they turned on my own people and started killing them. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? To me, that just shows the Democratic Party that has been supporting this for the last 2 years and the Palestinians that have been supporting this for the last 2 years don't have a fucking clue on what they're supporting or who they're supporting. But as long as it fits their agenda or their narrative and somebody's telling them to think that way, that's how they should think. In the Bible, Charlie Kirk spoke about this. He said Israel is the chosen land. We have to defend it. And in case you guys don't know, the Jews have their hands in everything. Every single thing that we do, our entire infrastructure, they have their hands in. The banking systems, the investment companies, they literally control our lives. They own all of the media. It used to never be that way. Circa 1980, there were 50 different news agencies owned by multiple different groups and people. But Disney came in and bought them up. Fox's network came in and bought them up. These people came. There's like 4 or 5 owners of all of the media now. And they're all Jewish owned. The banking system, all Jewish owned. The investment companies, all Jewish owned and heavily influenced. So we can't just turn our back on Israel. That's like our entirety of our financial system in general is controlled by Israel. So when people say, why are we supporting Israel? Why are we supporting this? Why are we doing that? Why are we wasting money on them? It's literally because it's been written. It has been written that it's the chosen land. It has been written that they are this is the home of Jesus. In that entire area over there, if you look at the timeline of when Jesus was born, where he lived, and how he migrated around that area to the different, it was all in that area. So Kirk talked about this. He talked about how we're being controlled by people that are higher up. And at the end, he started to question whether or not we needed to be involved with Israel like we were. Talking about the money and stuff being spent in the war that was going on. And all of a sudden, when he starts talking about out against the things that were controlling everything in probably the entire world to an extent, the guy has to lose his life. Let that sink in. If you think about our entire financial system, it is controlled by the Jews. Israel has something to do with every single bit of it. And people don't pay attention to that. And the irony behind people supporting this Hamas terrorist group is now that the war is over, kind of over, but then right after all this started happening, they started attacking again, which doesn't make any sense. Literally, they started killing their own people in the streets for days, and then all of a sudden started attacking Gaza again. And people were like, wait a second, I thought this was supposed to be over. I thought you guys decided on a ceasefire, and now you're re-engaging and killing again? Yeah, but these are the people that Palestinians support, and these are the people the Democratic Party support. If you think any different than the fact on how confused these people are, you probably need help yourself. And I can honestly tell you and look at you in the face right now, there's not a single one of us. There's not a single one of us that can do anything about what's going on right now other than to hold our own, worry about our own, take care of our neighbor, and just be kind, nice people. Our votes don't matter like you think they do. I think this whole entire situation is controlled to an extent that it's almost like they knew what was going to happen. Or one way or another, even if Trump got in office, they were going to try to set it up to where this happened anyway. And now November 1st, people are talking about losing their benefits. There's lots of people that are going to be without, for sure. But the majority of these people, just like Jay said, Mr. Independent said, a lot of these people are actually working. They're actually making some kind of money. May it be the best money? No, not at all. Not at all. But a lot of these people that are on SNAP benefits are working, and they ideally should be able to stay afloat a little bit before they're hurt. But there are going to be some elderly people and people that really do need the benefits that are going to be affected by this. Let me get this set in real quick and we'll continue this. Now, the problem that I have with all of this is no matter what we do, there's always going to be some type of entity that's trying to take away from us. And I'm starting to get to the point where I don't trust either party. I'm glad that we have Donald Trump as president because he's taking care of a lot of issues that need to be taken care of. But I feel like there's a lot of areas that needed to be addressed that are not being addressed appropriately. Like, I don't agree with this whole, I'm sorry if you guys don't agree with me, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. I don't agree with stopping the SNAP benefits on the first for people that are Americans. If they need it, they need it. I do agree that too many people abuse the system and it needs to be addressed. I do agree that if there are illegals and stuff that are on the system taking taxpayer dollars as benefits that American families could use, they need to be removed. But I don't agree with actually stopping entire benefits across the board. They should have like a group of people that look into this, that can vet this in a timely manner and address this and move forward that way. I don't agree with just stopping all stuff for all Americans. That's going to trickle down. That's going to trickle down into veterans benefits. That's going to trickle down to other medical benefits and stuff. Eventually, if they keep playing this game with each other, they're going to keep butting heads and nobody's going to budge. And it's going to trickle down across the board and everything's going to start losing funding. So for those of you out there that do need it, I hope you're preparing for what's going to happen. I just am afraid that they're going to try to play the game back and forth so hard with each other on who's going to concede and actually sign this CR, or there's going to be huge problems. And unfortunately, it is what it is. So to recap on what we've already talked about is the whole Palestinian thing, supporting this terrorist group for the last 2 years, Hamas, fighting for them, and then them turning on their own people after the fighting stopped and killing their own people in the streets. Then they turn around and start killing people again in Gaza. So it's like they wanted to just resurface and fire up the war all over again after they got reset, restocked on ammunition and people and everything else, and let's get right back out there and do it again. So there's that. And then there's the irony behind all of this that's going on and people not being able to understand why we're supporting Israel the way we are, because they literally control our entire infrastructure here in the United States. Why we let such a small group of people control the entire United States is beyond me. But we've let it happen, and they are unfortunately in everybody's business, no matter if you like it or not. The banking system, the investment systems, all of the media and stuff, those three main things right there can corrupt and completely like topple our infrastructure here in the United States. And if you don't believe it, you need to do some research. Look at all the media companies, go find out who owns them, what families own them, and how many under each family of ownership there is. It's all owned by the same people. Trump can seem unhinged at times, for sure. He's trolling the shit out of people right now with all his memes and stuff that he's putting up, where he's putting himself in a fighter jet with a crown and stuff, and then he's making fun of these people, these big social media creators and stuff like that are out there trying to spread propaganda, like Harry Sisson. Oh, he loves making fun of that guy, him and J.D. Vance, because he's a sissy boy. He's a liberal, paid for, on the books of like the whatever it is, Act Blue Foundation. He's 1,000% a little liberal sissy boy. And he's paid for by them, and they like making fun of him. Let me get this next set. Shoulders acting up. Shoulders really tweaked today. I can feel it in the rotator cuff. So where are we at? The Red Amendment by LB. Oh, yeah. I need to do more reading. I've just been reading the Bible mainly lately. I haven't been really touching too much other stuff. And then recently we've had videos popping up from Mexico, right? People in Mexico are, there's a viral video going where there's like this short butterball Hispanic lady, and she's just going off. She's absolutely going freaking berserk, and she's standing in Mexico out in the streets and literally screaming at people like, take this shit back to your country where you came from. Take this up with your government. Why are you doing this here in Mexico? Go away from us, you know, go back to your country where you came from. And, you know, it's sad because those same people came here illegally and they want benefits and resources and everything else. And we're in the streets basically screaming the same thing. Take your bullshit garbage that you track with you and your lifestyle and stuff and take it back to Mexico where you came from. Take it back to Venezuela and Honduras. Everybody from all these countries literally believe the same thing. There's very few people that actually believe bring all your shit over here to the United States. This is the only country where I've seen people be able to come to and allow them to just move right into a neighborhood and live however they want. What I don't get is, why would you come to my country and live in my community, and the day you move in, you've got a Palestinian flag in the front window? What does that say to me and my community of people, my neighbors that we've been living the same way forever? And now you moved into our community and you took your giant flag and threw it all up in the front of your window where everybody can see it coming up and down the streets the day you move in. That's telling me you don't give a shit about assimilating. That's telling me you don't give a shit about your neighbors and stuff that are around you and the sanctity of the way they lived. That's telling me that you don't want to assimilate with everybody else. That's telling me you care about yourself and where you came from, and that's it. And you're not willing to do the work to actually fit in, speak our language, understand how we live. Why do you come here if you're so proud of that country and that flag? Why do you come here if that's how you feel? Literally had a neighbor a couple blocks away, the day he moved in, put a Palestinian flag up. It lasted one day. I don't know if somebody went and said something to him or one of the neighbors was like, no, you got to take that shit down. Because the next day, he had an American flag. He flew it for like 3 days in the front window and then never put another flag up again. Around the corner from me here, there's a family that put 2 Palestinian flags up. They're new to the neighborhood. And then a giant banner in the middle of it with 4 Muslim men with their turbans and stuff on, and they're all standing like this looking at each other. And then they took this giant flag, Palestinian flag, and covered the whole front of their garage. So from one side of the house looking from the front all the way to the other side of the house is nothing but Muslim Palestinian stuff. It's too much for me. At that point, you're just basically saying, I spit in your face, screw the way you guys live, I'm going to show you how I live, and that's just how it's going to be. After a couple of days of those flags and stuff being up, I went by their house. I noticed those two banners were down, and that the big giant banner with the Muslim guys in front with all the like Arabic writing, that was gone as well. The only thing that they have up now is down behind the house where the garage is at. They have this big giant, like, I don't know, 15 foot wide by like 10 foot tall flag on their garage. You know what? Do your thing, fly your flag or whatever. But if you're gonna put your country's flag out of your house, make sure you got an American flag out there as well. That shows me that you have respect for us. But if you're gonna go put your country's flag outside your house and that's the only thing that you're gonna support, then get the fuck out of here and go back home where you came from. That's how I feel. If you would have had an American flag out there, I would have had more respect for you than doing the shit that you did by putting your country's terrorist flag out there. It's just a made up location anyway. If you look at like I said earlier, if you look at the actual historians that talk about Palestine, there was no real Palestine. It was a name given for a group of people that they ended up turning it into like, oh, let's go fly to Palestine. You can't fly to Palestine. Like, if you were to be theoretical about it and look at history, there's no Palestine. There's Palestinian people, but there's no Palestine. So you're flying a flag for a group of people, not a country. You're in America. Like, that's so disrespectful to me to do that type of stuff. And I asked a bunch of people yesterday if they felt the same way, and there were people that weren't even from here that said the exact same thing. You come to this country, you live in our neighborhoods and stuff like that, and you fly your shit outside the house, and you don't have an American flag or something out there showing support and respect as well, then fuck you. You don't deserve to live here, and we're going to make you uncomfortable being here until you move out. Because that's disrespectful to me. You can't go do that in any other country. You go to Mexico and do that, and they'll take your shit down, they'll kick you out, they'll put you in jail, they'll fuck you up, they'll kill you. You go over in the Middle East and try to put an American flag up in the middle of a Middle Eastern village of where everybody lives, you're dead. They're not going to let you live there. You're not even going to make it out of there. So it's ironic how here in the United States, we're complaining about the very thing that is sacred to us, our country, our heritage, the way we live, regardless of how you live. You're an American, right? But then come here and do your own shit and not care about how we see it, how we live. Then this lady, this viral video is going viral of her in Mexico telling all these Venezuelans, take your ass back to Venezuela. Go do that with your government over there. Don't come over here and do it in Mexico. We feel the same way. Take all the Venezuelans back. All of them. Take them all back. Every one of them. I don't care if it's kids, whatever. Take them all back. Everybody. We feel the same way. That's how we feel. Take the Hondurans and the Guatemalans and Colombians and everything. Take them all back. Everybody. So other countries are saying the same thing that we're saying. You go over to Europe and they're saying the same thing. Like, you guys get the fuck out of here. Don't bring your Muslim shit here to our land. And I'm sorry, I'm not disrespecting the culture and the religion in general. I'm just saying that's how they feel. Take your shit back where you came from and don't bring it over here and turn our country into what you want it to be. Because if you think about it, when in these teachings and stuff, and when they preach and stuff like that, the imams and all this other stuff, they actually say our objective is to spread as much of our culture into Western civilization as possible. We are here to spread it as far and wide as we possibly can. And they're achieving that. Here's how dangerous this is. I got to get my next set. Here's how dangerous this is. I'll speak about it after this next set. Oh, shoulder's acting up. I need to take it easy. Anyway, here's how dangerous this is. In Dearborn, Michigan, they have a Muslim mayor. When was it okay for us to allow people from different cultures that don't assimilate, that don't love the United States, that don't support the United States and our heritage to become governing officials? Was AOC the first one? Because that was pathetic. She's a pathetic piece of shit. What about this new guy now? This mayor in Dearborn? Doesn't support anything American. He's actually letting them move in, take over Dearborn. 45% of the police force is now Muslim. And the police chief brags about it. He said it used to be only 2 or 3%. And now 45% of the police force are Muslim. They're running their own Muslim patrols in their communities where they've created their own Muslim police force outside of the 45% that's already in the police force there. They've got mosques built there that now at 5:30 in the morning, they begin to do their morning prayer that is now cast out as far as the ear can hear, waking these people up, Americans, at 5:30 in the morning with the Muslim prayer that's being blasted all over the community. How in the hell is that okay? So recently there was like a city hall posting not too long ago, like a couple months ago, where one of the white dudes from the neighborhood, they grew up there his whole life along with his neighbors. They had a chance to speak. And the mayor was sitting there in their city hall, right? He came up to the podium and asked the mayor, he very politely, very respectful guy, comes up and he says, yes, Mr. Mayor, I have some concerns that I'd like to speak about. And one of them particularly is the fact that I've grew up here my whole life. All I know is Dearborn. My neighbors, all we know is Dearborn. We got all kinds of, blood that has bled or blended here. We've grew up with each other. And now we're seeing the very city that we grew up in, that we cherish, that we love, that we respect, being tore apart. Basically, why are there street signs being taken down and now you're allowing these streets to be called Muslim names? This is like a slap in our face. This is not how you become mayor of a town and then allow people to start changing the names of streets to Muslim names. This is the United States of America. This is not Palestine. This is not Iraq or Afghanistan. This is a huge red flag to me. This makes me feel extremely uncomfortable when you start doing stuff like this. That mayor turned to him and decided to call him, what are the typical liberal terms whenever they want to talk to white people or conservatives? Even if you're black, it doesn't matter. Brown, doesn't matter. You're a racist. You're a bigot. You're a homophobe. You're all these other things. And this mayor started telling him he was these things because he brought up the fact that he was addressing his concerns with his community. He was openly speaking out, using his First Amendment right to speak to a political official that cannot shut you down. They're not supposed to be berating you for bringing up concerns. Instead, this mayor turned in his unprofessional manner, this Muslim mayor, and decided to lash out at him and continue the bigotry and all this other stuff and the racial this and that, instead of actually addressing what the man's concern was. That's not America. This is not the United States of America when we have political officials in power like that. So we allowed that in one place, but now it's going to happen somewhere else as well. Isn't there some kind of New York mayor or New York governing official of some sort, political official, that's now going to be Muslim? They were just talking about it on the radio the other day. They were like, yeah, but we have elections coming up in New York. We already have a Muslim mayor in Dearborn, and now New York's going to end up doing the same thing. What do you think is going to happen if enough of these towns start getting governed by people like the Dearborn mayor? It's going to spread, and it's going to spread fast. And now they have political power to do what they want, and they're going to do it. So if you guys keep allowing this shit to happen, you're basically spitting in your own face. It's going to spread from one town to another town to another town to another town, and then you cannot stop it from happening. These people believe in like procreating like rabbits. Am I saying that right? They believe in having as many children as they possibly can to saturate the earth with their offspring so they can take control of what they don't have control of. Hamtramck and Dearborn both have Muslim mayors. Sterling Heights, Michigan also becoming little Iraq, more of their flags than U.S. Trust me, I live in the metro area. It's disgusting, man. It is absolutely fucking disgusting that we're allowing this shit to happen. And because there are so many of us that are quiet, that are scared of what's going to happen if we retaliate, nothing is getting done. Nothing. I'm gonna try to press out 275 a few times. I don't know if I'm gonna use my. You know what I'll do is I'll use my my slingshot just so I can get a feel for it, and I'll try to get like 10. Normally I could get like 5 to 10 without it, but today my shoulder's really hurting, and that slingshot's supposed to protect your shoulder. So I'm gonna throw either 275 or 395 on, or 275 or 295 on here, and do it a few times. Maybe I'll do 295 with the slingshot just to add a little bit more weight. It hurts. Whew. Okay. Yeah, I don't need a spotter for anything under like 365 or whatever. I don't need a spotter. Normally I can still fight through it, or I can dump it quick. Anything over 365, then I start wanting to have a spotter. Not playing devil's advocate here, but doesn't Trump lash out at people who speak against him, like the AI video of him? I mean, that's not really lashing out. You know, that's not the same thing as what this mayor did. You're taking something that's like meant in a satire, comedic way, and you're trying to compare it to something that happened face to face with somebody that's living in your area that you govern. So it's like, it's not the same thing at all. It's just him making stupid memes and jokes to entertain people and stuff like that. Well, this mayor is not doing that stuff. This is nowhere near the same thing. What time is it? I'm gonna have to go in like 5 minutes. I'm gonna do one more set and then I'm getting out of here. Maybe one more set. All right, I'm done. I'm done. Well, I've been off for like the last 2.5 weeks. I go back to work on Monday because I hurt my kneecap real bad at work. So, yeah, morning. Now it's time to get the day started. I'll come out here later and work out a little bit. I just haven't really been working chest too much lately because of my shoulder. But anyhow, I'll catch y'all. I'm getting out of here. And I'll see y'all later. Thanks for showing up this morning as always. I appreciate you. No matter if you agree with me or not, I really do appreciate you. Take care of it. Have a blessed day. Thanks for being here, everybody.